Chapter 9. I can't move. Seems as if the sky's swirling around me, tree branches going every which way. Ma's face looks even different from down on the ground. Shiloh, of course, goes right over, tail wagging. All the steam's gone out of me. How long have you had this dog up here? She asks, not one trace of a smile on her face. I sit up real slow and swallow. About a week, I guess. You've had Judd's dog up here a week, and you told him you didn't know where it was? Didn't say I didn't know. He asked had I seen him, and I said I hadn't seen him in the yard. That much was true. Ma comes around to the trunk of the pine tree, unfastens the wire that holds the fence into close, and lets herself in. She crouches down on the soft pine needles, and Shiloh starts leaping up on her with his front paws looking at her face. I can't tell at first how she feels about him, the way she leans back away from his dripping tongue, when I see her hand reach out with its short, smooth fingers and stroke him. So, we've got ourselves a secret, she says at last, and when I hear her say we, I feel some better. But not a whole lot. Some. How come you followed me up here tonight? I want to know. Now I can tell for sure her eyes are smiling, but her lips are still set. Well, I had my suspicions before, but it was the squash that did it. The squash? Marty, I never knew you'd eat more 'n a couple bits of squash in your life, and when you put away a spoonful of that to eat later, I knew for sure it wasn't you doing the eating. And then the way you've been sneaking off every night. She stops stroking Shiloh and turns on me. I wish you'd told me. Figure you'd make me give him back. This dog don't belong to you. More than Judd's, I say hotly. He only paid money for him. I'm the one who loves him. That doesn't make him yours. Not in the eyes of the law, it doesn't. Well, what kind of law is that, Ma, that lets a man mistreat his dog? Ma just sighs then and starts stroking Shiloh's head. Shiloh wiggles a few inches closer to her on his belly, rests his nose against her thigh, tail going wick-a-whack, wick-a-whack. Finally, Ma says, Your dad don't know about him? I shake my head. More silence. Then she says, I never kept a secret from your dad in the 14 years we've been married. You ain't gonna tell him? Marty, I've got to. He ever finds out that this dog and knows I knew, but didn't tell him, how could he trust me? If I keep this one secret from him, he'll think maybe there are more. He'll make me give him back to Judd, Ma. I could hear my voice shaking now. You know he will. What else can we do? I can feel hot tears in my eyes now and try to keep them from spilling out. My I turn my head till they go away. Judge Travers ever comes here to get this dog, he'll have to fight me to get to it. Marty, listen, Ma, just for one night. Promise you won't tell Dad so I can figure out something. I can tell she's thinking on it. You aren't fixing to run off with this dog, are you? Marty, don't you ever run away from a problem. I don't answer because that very thing crossed my mind. I can't promise not to tell your dad tonight, if you can't promise not to run off. I won't run off, I say. Then I won't tell him tonight. Or the morning either, I add. I gotta have at least one day to think. Don't know what good it will do me. Have already thought till my brains are dry. Ma puts both hands down and scratches below Shiloh's ears, and he licks her up and down her arms. His name's Shiloh, I tell her pleased. After a while, Ma gets up. You coming back to the house now? In a bit, I answer. It's hard to say how I feel after she leaves. Glad in a way that somebody knows that I don't have to carry this whole secret on my head anymore, or alone. But more scared than glad. Have me just one day to think of what to do, and got any closer to an answer than I had been before. I'd spent all my canned money on stuff to feed Shiloh. Only money I have now in my name is a nickel I found by the road. Judd won't sell me Shiloh's spit for a nickel. My first thought is to give him to somebody else, and not tell them whose dog it is. Then tell Ma that Shiloh had run off. But that would be two more lies to add to the pack. Word would get out somehow or another, and Judd would see David Howers or Mike Wells walking his dog, and then the war would really start. All I can think of is to take Shiloh down to Friendly the next day, draw me up a big sign that says "Free, World's Best Dog," or something, and hold it along the road to Sisterville, hoping that some stranger driving along will get a warm spot in his heart for Shiloh. Stop his car and take him home, and I won't ask him where home is, neither, so when Ma asks me where the dog is, I can tell her honest I don't know. When I get back to the house, Dad's just washing up the pump, using grease to get the oil off his arms. He's yelling at Darlin and Becky, who are playing in the doorway. Screen right open, letting in the Ma's. I go inside, and Ma's putting the dishes away in the kitchen, lifting them out of the drain rack, and stacking the dishes on the shelf. She's got the radio on and is humming along with the country song. She sort of blushes when she sees me there by the refrigerator listening to her sing. I know I'm not going to sleep much that night. I sit on the couch staring at the TV, but not really watching while Ma gives Becky her bath. Then I wait till Darlin is out of the bathroom so I can take my own bath. Don't know if I soaped up or not. Don't even know if I washed my feet. I go back to the living room, and Ma has my bed made up there on the sofa. The house gets dark, the doors close, and then just the night sounds come from outside. I know there's a piece of cardboard somewhere out in the shed I can print on. There won't be any trouble getting Shiloh to friendly either. I'll put that rope on his collar and he'll follow along good as anything. We won't take the main road, though, in case Judd's truck is out. Take every back road I can find. Then I'll plant myself on the road to Sisterville holding that sign. Shiloh waiting beside me, wondering what we're going to be doing next. What am I fixing to do anyway? Give him to the first car that stops? Don't even know that person driving. Might even be I'll give Shiloh to someone who will treat him worse than Judd Travers. Now that Shiloh has come to trust me, here I am getting ready to send him off again. I feel like there's a tank truck sitting on my chest. Can't hardly breathe. Got one day to decide what to do with Shiloh, and nothing I think on seems right. I hear Shiloh making a noise up the far hill in the pen. Not now, Shiloh, I whisper. You have been good as gold all this time. Don't start now. Can it be he knows what I'm fixing to do? Then I hear a yelp. A loud yelp, then a snarl and a growl, and suddenly the air is filled with yelps, and it's the worst kind of noise you can think of, a dog being hurt. I leap out of bed, thrust my feet in my sneakers, and with shoelaces flying, I'm racing through the kitchen toward the back door. A light comes on, and I can hear Dad's voice saying, "Get a flashlight." But I'm already out the back porch, then run up the hill. There are footsteps behind me. Dad's gaining on me. Can hear Shiloh howling just like he's been torn in two, and my breath becomes shorter and shorter trying to get there in time. By the time I reach the pen, Dad's caught up to me, and he's got the flashlight turned toward the noise. The beam searches out the pine tree, the fencing, the lean-to, and then I see this big German shepherd, mean as nails, hunched over Shiloh there on the ground. The shepherd's got blood in his mouth and jaws, and as Dad takes another step forward, it leaps over the fence, same way it got in, and takes off through the woods. I unfasten the wire next to the pine trees, legs like rubber, hardly holding me up. I kneel down by Shiloh. He's got blood on his side, his ear, a big open gash on one leg, and he don't move, not an inch. I bend over, my forward against his, my hand on his head. He's dead, I know it. I'm screaming inside. Then I feel his body sort of shiver, and his mouth's moving a little, like he's trying to get his tongue out to lick my hand. And I'm bent over there in the beam of Dad's flashlight, bawling, and I don't even care.